Okay, so we are now recording. Hopefully the sound is good. You should be able to put any questions in the Q&A or in the chat. But I'm going to proceed through the presentation, and we can take questions thereafter. And again, my apologies for any technical difficulties. Um, this is the yeah, this is our agenda today. We're going to talk about who we are at the US UK Fulbright program, give you a quick overview of the UK Distinguished Award for Teachers that is hosted by the Fulbright Commission, talk about eligibility and requirements, and also how to apply. And hopefully, if our panelists can join us, we'll also have a participant spotlight. And they will talk about their experiences. And I think I just advanced my slides more than I wanted to. Um, they'll talk about their experiences while on grant. So we are the US UK Fulbright Commission based in London. We administer this program with some partners in the States. Our vision is that there are no obstacles to learning, understanding, and collaboration. And through our grants and our other activities, we advance knowledge, promote civic engagement, and develop compassionate leaders through education exchange between the US and UK. We are the only bilateral, both way exchange between the US and UK for educational purposes. Um, so the program overview, this is an annual program that we run. It's part of Fulbright's global offering for teachers. We select usually two teachers a year, although that sometimes varies depending on the year. And it is an absolutely wonderful professional development opportunity, an opportunity to do research into a pedagogical inquiry project. And we believe this has and have evidence that this has a great educational impact on the participants, on their students, and on their institution as well. And of course, a larger goal of this project, as with most Fulbright grants, is to advance mutual understanding between the US and the UK. Um, this this grant, this program is administered by us, also for our partners in the Bureau of Educational and Cultural Affairs of the U.S. Department of State. ECA funds the program and oversees the program's implementation, whereas IREX is the organization that actually manages the program. And if you were to gain a grant, you would be communicating with us at the commission. Myself, I am the program manager for this program, as well as for US scholars and some other programs that bring academics from the US to the UK. And IREX provides participant support for the UK teacher program, particularly while participants are in the US, and also for alumni of this program. If you join this program, you will also be joining a robust community of alumni uh, who and that is one of the benefits of having this grant. Um, so The US UK Fulbright Commission, myself, we coordinate with IREX and the State Department on this program. We manage recruitment and we prepare participants for departure. We are your primary point of contact in the UK throughout both the application process as well as while you are preparing for this grant. Um, so what are we talking about? What's involved with this program? It is a 4-month grant going from generally mid-August to mid-December. In this case, applicants that apply now, the application closes on 4 May. You will hear me say that a lot. Applicants who apply this spring will be traveling in August of 2027. Our applicants or our grantees who are traveling in August 2026 are already selected and going through the onboarding process. So there's quite a long lead up to this grant. So you'll apply before May and you'll go on grant in August of 2027. This is not a degree granting program. It's not for credit, but it is a valuable professional development program at a US university. While you are there, you'll do seminars and coursework, a research project. You'll be able to audit courses. You'll be based at a US university where you can do this research. You can audit courses. You can also have field experiences in US schools and exchange best practices and also participate in civic and cultural activities. So I mentioned the inquiry project. Participants during the application will propose a project, an inquiry project that you want to pursue during this grant period. What do you want to study to improve your craft, to discover more pedagogical insights, and related to your specific area of teaching. You will then collaborate with your fellow program colleagues as well as staff at the host university to refine this project that has direct relevance to your teaching and that of colleagues in their home school and community. You'll be able to design projects that draw on best educational practices and may work individually or in a group. And I'm going to pause there for just a second, and I'm going to pause the recording because our panelist has entered the room, and I just want to see if I can, Ella, I'm going to promote you to be a panelist. All right, I think that worked. Ella, welcome to the
Hi.
panel. I'm glad you're here. And we will get to you and your exciting story about being on grant soon. Sorry for the technical challenges with getting you in and making you a panelist. But we will come to Ella once I've gotten through a description of the program. And thank you for joining us, Ella. So yeah, you're going to design a project of relevance to enhancing your teaching, but also to enhancing the work of your school and your community. And the idea here is that this is an international exchange where you get to draw on the best educational practices in the United States. But also because you're in a cohort of other international teachers, you get to draw on their experiences as well. And your project may be an individual project or a group project, but certainly as you're proposing it in the application, it's going to feel very much like an individual project. Um, so what are the benefits of this grant? Well, one is that experience I just talked about, but also that we help you get the necessary visa to go to the US. We will have a pre-departure orientation before you go. The program through IREX will arrange your flight itinerary and pay for your flights to and within the US to get to the program site. Um, there may or may not be an in-person workshop in DC. I think these are becoming virtual during times of sort of reduced budget. And we will also pay, IREX will pay your academic program fees to the host institution and provide housing. One of the unique parts of this program is you will live with other participants on the program from a variety of different countries. And you'll also get meals. As you go out and do those field visits, you'll have transportation, you'll get a daily allowance for incidentals, a professional development allowance, a baggage allowance, and also once you're an alumni, you may have access to small grants as alumni, which is a great way to keep those collaborations that you build in the US going. And it doesn't sound perhaps as sexy as some of the other things, but you will also have accident and sickness medical coverage while you're in the States, should you need it, which hopefully you won't, but it's there if you do. Um, Let me talk briefly about eligibility requirements. The eligibility requirements for this program, um, and let me make sure I'm in my notes here. Eligibility requirements. Classroom teachers, guidance counselors, curriculum specialists, library media specialists, special education coordinators. The only thing is, we want you to be a full-time educator. And even if you're in an administrative role, you spend at least half of your time interacting with students at your home school. Um, you should have 5 years of full-time teaching experience or working with students, have a proven record of professional development and leadership, and you must be a citizen and resident of the UK. There are more eligibility requirements. Those are on the application, but those are the most important ones that I wanted to draw your attention to for the purposes of this webinar. Let's talk about the timeline. How do you get this great opportunity? You apply online to IREX by the 4th of May, and you can access that application, and there's instructions for the application on the Fulbright website. So fulbright.org.uk will give you access to those documents that you need to submit and instructions. Once you have applied by 4 May, the applications will go through a screening process for eligibility, and then we will have alumni and other experts read these applications and shortlist for interviews. The interviews will likely take place in early June, and then you will likely not hear much until really December of 2026, when finalists will be notified. And then things will pick up in the spring and summer. You'll have paperwork to do to get ready to go. We'll have our pre-departure orientation, get your visa, and then in August 2027, you'll depart for your experience in the US. So key dates here are for May. That's really what you need to do right now is submit that application, finish the application so that you can have this experience. Um, and I think maybe that's enough of me talking right now. I would like to introduce our panelist. Um, Ella teaches English literature and language in a large comprehensive secondary school, Uckfield College, where she's been teaching for, I think, the past 10 years, Ella, maybe. And she teaches students aged 11 to 18. When Ella applied to this program, her inquiry project was about helping students find their voice in the English classroom. And I may not be that up to date because what happens, these projects evolve during time on grant. So, Ella, I'd like to ask you first, what was the project you thought you would do, and did it change and evolve during the program?
So my project was around belonging initially. My application was about the challenges we have at the moment with creating a sense of cohesion in schools, and how to foster that sense of belonging. So it started off really broad, and it sort of got whittled down, if anything. It just became a narrower thing because it was just too broad. So that had begun before I had left. So I'd already sort of thought about, as you said, the sense of voice. I'd already sort of started thinking, okay, well, how do I, get students to use their voice, feel empowered to use their voice, and also use it effectively, and to listen to other people's voices. But it wasn't until I really got to the States that I kind of narrowed it down more onto specific strategies that I wanted to explore a little bit further, and to see, and ultimately to see what they do in the American classrooms. This is I would get to see as well. Like that's I just wanted to be exposed to new ideas. So it did transform, but it didn't dramatically change, I would say. It was more a case of refinement for me. I do know that some people had much bigger changes. So just
Yeah.
my other participants did a just sort of really, it was obviously still their same subject. Maybe it was still the same problem, but they were coming at it from a different angle. And that was with the because of what they had been exposed to when they went into schools, or it might have been with their advisor. So when we were at the university, we had an advisor who we could just talk to just for their advice about where to start, what kind of readings, what kind of scholars to look out for. And sometimes because of that, they were like, "Oh, hang on, there's this whole other thing that I wasn't even aware of," and then they went off down that route. As I
Oh,
said, for
that's
me, it was a refinement.
Oh, that's great. And it's an important thing as you're putting this together, you should be committed to the project that you want to do, but you should also be open to further scoping in the project. So Ella, you were in Rochester. What was that experience like for you?
It was wonderful. It was a great little city. I've never heard of it before in America. So, I mean, I've heard of New York State, but I didn't know of the city itself. So it was really lovely getting to know, kind of getting to see American life. We traveled a little bit in the area. I did go to New York City as well, but just that area was beautiful. Lots of opportunities to meet locals. The university was great for setting us up with friendship families. So this is where a local person would be partnered with a Fulbright teacher, and they would show you like interesting places, or sometimes it might just be, to help you out if you don't know how to do something. Um, so the university put a lot of work into making us feel kind of comfortable, confident in that new place. Um, and yeah, my eyes have been open to a really interesting slice of American life and history by exploring.
Yeah. Yeah, Rochester is in upstate New York, near a beautiful area called the Finger Lakes, which has its own wine country. And you're right, not a lot of people know about that. Even though it's in New York, you think New York City, but you get to see a different part of America. What was it like living with the other participants on the program from many different countries?
I really loved it. We were in pairs in two-bedroom apartments. But there were lots of times where we would be going over to other people's apartments. We would have dinner together. We would be trying different sorts of food. We would have parties, sometimes with karaoke. Uh, we just tried to get to know each other really well, really well. And I think that surprised me actually. I didn't realize there would be quite about that side of the program. I suppose I hadn't really thought of it that much. But ultimately, you're with another 22 people who are away from home and keen to explore at the same time. So it's lovely to be able to do that together with other people. Um, and to learn about other people as well. You said earlier on about one of the key things of the program is not just learning about the American system, which you obviously do because you go into schools, you're learning about it in the university, but you learn so much about global education as well from just the chats over a cup of coffee with someone and about the particular challenges they have or some really different ways they might go about teaching something or assessing something. So it's an incredibly, I found it a really rewarding experience.
Ah, that's great. And I've actually heard from other participants on this program that their school here in the UK now does exchanges with somebody from Finland that they lived with on this program. So it's not just the US and UK. It can open up those connections to a global community of teachers, which is
Yeah,
exciting. Yeah.
absolutely.
So along that lines, and I should say for our participants, feel free to put questions in the chat. I see a question in the chat. I'll get to it. I just have a couple more questions for Ella. Um, so Ella, what was the most rewarding part of the program for you?
Oh, it's really hard to pin that down to say it to one thing. Um, I think, I mean, building on what I was just saying about people there, I think it was the way that the program, both other participants and the faculty that we're working with at university and our partner teachers in schools. For me, I found just the fact that they were so interested in what I wanted to explore. It was so helpful, and brimming with ideas and enthusiasm. And I just think that really carries you and gives you that sort of belief. You're like, yeah, okay, this actually is a really important question that I'm asking. And I think I came away from it not just, with some ideas and things I wanted to try, but with a real sense of um purpose and the fact that you feel like you've got other people have got your back in a way, and that they believe in it as well. So I think in a way it's sort of that sense of community that comes with it that's been really important. And we haven't sorted out exchanges yet because we only haven't been back very long, but we are all still in contact, and hopefully there will be something along the lines at some point in the future, both with our people back in Rochester, but also around the world. So yeah, the
Yeah.
people and the community and the belief and motivation that they give you.
Yeah, that makes my Fulbright heart glad to hear that you're still in touch with the people that you were with, and these can be lifelong friendships and grow into connections between schools and allow your students to experience or interact with students in another country. So I'm really glad to hear that. So I think our participants might want to hear, do you have advice for those who are thinking about applying?
Um, One, good to build on what you said there is like don't sort of get hung up in like the minutiae of the inquiry project because you need to have a focus. But as you said, things naturally develop as you start talking to people, hearing ideas, reading. So having like an area you want to address, like having the problem, the challenge that you want to address is really helpful. And to go but to be aware that, as you said, that it can develop or be refined as you go forward. I used some of the time to do some of that refinement before I went, and I think that was really helpful. Uh, went in with a bit of a clearer mind in last year than I did when I put the application form in because I just thought and mulled over it and thought what's going to be the most helpful for me. So I think that um, I mean, in terms of applying, it's quite a lengthy process, but it's worth it.
Yeah.
It is a lengthy process. The application form is quite involved. So you really need to give yourself some like solid time to sit out and decide what you're going to do and what you're going to say. It's not just a few tick boxes. It's you have to think carefully about your experiences, your professional experiences, and what you hope to get from it, not just in the classroom, but more generally as well. So really carve out some time to complete the application carefully. Um, um,
I would say you
you know,
also it's not something you can do alone. You also need the support of your school, that they are supportive of you being gone for these months. Something that can help with that is that through our partnership with the Department for Education, we're able to give a school up to 15,000 pounds for teaching cover for the time you're away. The requirement for that is they have to continue giving you your full salary while you're away. So it's worth having a discussion with your line manager and with your school leadership to ensure that they support you. Because as we're looking at the applications, that's something that we are actually looking for is that you have the support of your institution as well.
that's actually a really good point. And thinking about what your inquiry project is a good way to sort of get them on board as well. If it's something that your school is also focused on or concerned about, then showing that you're going to be able to go away and come back with some ideas will help to get them inside.
Yeah, exactly. It's good to think about an output. Sometimes it's about bringing a program back to your school or new ways of thinking about a program or a toolkit for teaching development or something that you bring back to your community and to your school, other than just amazing stories about the fun you had and making them jealous. So so yeah. Any other thoughts, Ella, on advice for the application?
Um,
I
I think
think
you've
you co
covered the main bits really.
I think so. I guess my advice is it's have I said it's due on the 4th of May? And my biggest advice is to do it, to give yourself this opportunity. If you meet the eligibility requirements, you've got a good month in which to put this together, to think about that inquiry project. I know many have already started the application. The thing is to finish it and give yourself that chance. And we do have people who apply multiple years, and if you don't get it one year, it is quite competitive. We only pick one or two teachers for this opportunity a year, so give yourself that opportunity. And if you don't get it, refine it and do it again. I do see a question in the chat from Emma. I teach in a sixth form college. Does this count as secondary or does this preclude me? Basically, the answer is up to 18s. If that's who you're interacting with, yes, you are eligible. So, I am obviously from my accent American. I'm still translating the educational systems. But if you're teaching 18 and under and you're spending 50% of your time with students, you should be eligible. So that's good. I don't see any other questions in the chat. And so good, Emma, get that application in. We'll look forward to reading that. Ella, I wanted to say thank you for joining us. It's great to hear about your time. I think you and I need to get together over a cup of tea and talk more about it. But I really appreciate you spending your time with us. For everybody else, I did see some people join us later, and also there are quite a few people who signed up who didn't make it. And I do understand it's Thursday before a long weekend and it's Easter break, but we are recording this, and we will make that recording available so that you can view it or share it with your colleagues who you think should apply. So that resource will be out there, and we'll send that to everybody who registered. Emma, thank you. Ella, sorry, thank you. And I hope everybody has a great weekend and good luck putting those applications together. Okay, bye.
Thank you. Bye. Good luck, everyone.